Happening, guys? We're sitting out in front of the New England Motorcycle Museum on the banks of the Hockanum River here in the little city of Rockville, Connecticut. And this is more than a story of two really cool motorcycles and two cool guys. It's about, really, this is about a passion for our country, love for the United States of America, and a passion for our families. Junior, my son, is behind the camera. John's standing here with his son, passing the torch on to our kids, this passion for motorcycles. And so it's family, country, and motorcycles. That's really what this is all about. And these bikes are an expression of how we feel about our country and how we feel about motorcycles. Obviously, if you're watching us, you saw Junior racing his '89 CR500 this past weekend. One of the best family sports you could ever get involved with. Off-road dirt bike riding, because, well, the kids need you. They can't drive themselves to the track till they're 16. To put the cell phones down and get out and love your family and your motorcycles and your friends, and enjoy this great country that we live in, where we're free to race these badass two-strokes against the four-strokes, or against whoever we want, whenever and wherever we want. So just blessed, feeling a little patriotic this morning, standing in front of these bikes. My friend Hector the Puerto Rican, that's his YouTube channel, gave me this flag lanyard that I've been wearing since 24/7, since he gave it to me a few days ago. And I was shocked when John rolled his bike off the truck this morning. He's been working on this for about a year. A little background on John: we call him Captain John Greer because he's a captain. He flies planes for celebrities. He flies a jet, private jet. And this is what he loves to do in his spare time, is build custom bikes. We have a couple of his 500s have been through the museum. We have one in there right now. This one just rolled up, and it is absolutely stunning. And coincidentally, I just finished my American-themed AF, so I said, what a great opportunity to put them both together here and introduce John to you guys if you haven't met him already. He's here with his son, and John's 47 years old, been riding bikes since he was a kid, big time into the CR500s. He was originally from California, got involved with what we were doing here, and ended up moving out here partially to be a part of what we're doing. Came to the races with Junior, so he's become part of our family through YouTube. Ironically, it's become like the new connector. I have friends all over the world on YouTube, like Hector and John and Jack Henry Lee from Manila, and just people all over the world that we are united by one love, one passion, the passion for motorcycles and off-road riding. And obviously, we're in the street bikes too, Harleys. We love anything with two wheels. This just happens to be our favorite dirt bike, the CR500. So John, let's talk about John's bike a little bit. But before I do, John, tell us, what was your inspiration to build this bike? Why the CR500? And tell us about the build.
I chose the 500 because the 500, in my opinion, is like the greatest two-stroke out there to build. It's the ultimate, holy grail to own. So I just love the CR500s. And as far as, what inspired me is just, my love of the country, put God first down there. And really, hope made, people look at the bike and didn't just build it for, guys who love bikes, but, for everybody to appreciate it. Start bringing people together, become a little more patriotic and, put God back out there.
I think I might have forgot to mention that, but in my statement, it's God, country, and family, and exactly. Motorcycles.
Absolutely.
So, and both of our bikes are covered with scriptures. So, tell us more about the bike.
I picked the bike up in Southern California. Paid $700 for it. It was mostly complete all there.
Which is about what the front wheel costs now.
Pretty much.
Maybe
yeah, exactly.
Without the rotor.
Right. So yeah, around Thanksgiving time, we decided let's go ahead and tear it down, and let's build my ultimate dream bike. And that's what we've been doing for the past, about 8 months now.
This is your, how many 500s have you done in the last few years?
This year's the only one I've done this year. Total 500s now. This is the third complete 500 I've built. CR500. I built some KX 500s as well.
There's just so many custom cool components and trick one-off items on this bike. And you've had the best people in the industry help you. Adam Millar from Millar Race Engineering. Adam's probably the #1 CR500 guru in the country, if not the world. There's other guys up there like Gore, AJ Wagoner. I talked to him recently, who builds the aluminum cases and who is the founder and probably the godfather of the CR500. He's a service Honda guy, right? He's the one who kept this dream alive. Why? He's the reason I got choked up when I finally got my chance to get my own AF. You know, he's the one who made the dream possible. He's the visionary who put the 1985 design CR engine in a 2000 chassis. So, and kept the dream alive. So, but he said, have Adam Millar build the motor. Adam does all the custom porting. Adam's like an engineer guru and has a machine shop. They build like NASCAR race engines and stuff. But back to your bike. So we've had Adam Millar. You've got some parts from.
We've got AJ Wagner in there. We got Msv Racing.
Jason
Myers.
Jason Myers, another absolute guru.
So yeah, some of the most trick parts you can put on a 500. We tried to put on there.
I guess let's start at the front wheel. Tell us about let's start at the front, work our way back.
All right, so on the front here we got the Dunlop tires. Had the front stock Honda rim, hub, powder coated red. And then we're running some anodized blue Warp 9 rims. Warp 9 was the only company out there who gave me the rim I wanted in blue.
I love the color. I love the color. It's a little darker than my XLs, and it has a very nice look to it. I like it.
Absolutely. So working up there, we had Billy Ainsworth rebuild the front forks.
Billy Ainsworth is the BA suspension guru. He also won the 125 two-stroke nationals last year at Southwick, 2 years back to back. Did his suspension. Local guy here from Connecticut. Look him up. Billy Ainsworth on Facebook or BA. Is it BA Racing?
BA Racing.
BA Racing. Yep.
All right. So from there we got the blue front fender. I'm probably the only one left
now,
in
guys,
the world that you can find.
This is a Honda Fender, okay? There's one left that John knows of, and I'm not telling you where it is because I'm saving my pennies to buy it. A couple people commented I've got a Yamaha Fender. I'm like, well, I couldn't find a blue CR Fender. This is what we call unobtainium, folks.
Yeah, just about.
And why is there a Discovery Channel logo on there?
Right. Well, it's a little hint that the Discovery Channel helped us out a little bit in completing this build, so we'll definitely see more of that later of how they got involved with building this bike.
The Discovery Channel's got involved with what we're doing. We were on Diesel Brothers, Diesel Nation last week. John's been following our 9-month journey with them. So heading back to the bars, what do you got up top here?
Right.
Everything's custom.
Pro tapers up top there, 7/8 bars, some custom CNC bar mounts.
Anodized blue.
Right, anodized blue. We went and upgraded to like a 96 front master caliber so we can run the ASV levers.
Yep.
Only possible way to get ASV is to upgrade your master cylinder.
What kind of grips?
What are they?
Those ODI lock-ons?
ODIs, absolutely.
Yep, Junior
the
loves
V-locks. Awesome grip. Headed down there, we got aluminum radiators on here. A nice little upgrade because you can't find the OEM Hondas anymore. From there, we got the oversized Msv Tank. Gives you, hours of riding fun.
Whose tank is that?
It's IMS.
IMS?
IMS, correct.
There's a few things he's got this Works Connection blue anodized, a couple pieces he didn't mention. Everything's polished. Even the cover here is powder coated. The Motion Pro quarter turn throttle, which is pretty sick. The crossbar pad, he didn't mention that. This crossbar pad is handmade.
It is.
John made this himself.
That's out of a suede leather out of a pig skin. And we went and put the God Bless America up there and stitched it all up.
I couldn't let that go. That was too good. In the front, another thing I want to mention, he designed these graphics himself. How did you design the graphics, John?
I use a company called MotoCal. You can go online and use their website. Very easy tool to use. Took me maybe a few hours total in designing this bike.
It's motocal.com, right?
Correct, motocal.com. So I use Ken's bike as a little inspiration. And
he designed these in 3 hours online, and he's not a graphics guy, so their website must be amazing. You did a great job, John. I know Chrissy Chrissy has 15 hours into these, but she hand drew the Honda logos, and it took her forever. So love the design. It's excellent. So moving back to the seat, this is in a previous episode. The seat was featured because it's a really special piece. It's handmade. Tell us about the seat.
The seat again is going to be got the suede blue pigskin leather up top. Had Brian's Upholstery here locally in Vernon. Put this seat together for us with the USA logos, the marine grade vinyl, the red, white, and blue theme.
It's one of the highest quality seats I've ever seen. It's got the red stitching on the white stitching on the red. Real patriotic theme, the USA logo on there. Rear fender's got another custom graphic on it. I guess we'll move down to the subframe. Even that's custom.
Yeah, subframe is an aluminum subframe. Actually came with the bike. Pretty nice deal. It was very straight when we got it, and we just went to town on that thing, polished it all out by hand.
That's a $400 subframe, and you paid $700 for the bike. That was a good deal.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the guy didn't know what he had.
You've got the works connection. Moving down from there, works connection, frame guards, highly polished. What kind of pegs are those?
Those are just some aftermarket CNC pegs. Actually come off of a YZ 450 peg that we had to modify slightly just to get them to work with the frame so they would still actually fold in and out.
They look beautiful. All the aluminum, starting with the swing arm, the brake calipers, the rear brake guard, the brake lever, the Kickstarter. All the aluminum's polished except for, John pointed out, the triple clamps, which I didn't even notice because there's so much bling on the bike. Let me just say the only thing that's not polished is the triple clamps, okay? The rear wheel. Tell us about the rear wheel.
Again, rear wheel, we're running the Talon Sprocket on there, Warp 9 rims, a stock Honda hub powder coated in a candy red.
Did you powder coat them yourself?
These I did not.
I
After I got
thought
the
you had
bill
done
on
these.
these hubs is when I went out and got a powder coat gun, and figured I start learning how to do my own, and getting some really good results with that.
Little details like the hand painted Dunlop logo on the tank are awesome. Brand new. Is that a Honda shifter on there?
That is a Pro Taper shifter that works really well with those Adam Millar covers.
The Adam Millar covers are stunning. Adam Millar has the ability, being a machinist, to machine his logo in there, an HRC logo. If you wanted to put Kaplan America on there or your name, whatever you want to do, you can. John looks like he has an aluminum block because it is a Honda aluminum block, but that's the original one that was hand polished, which is a ridiculous amount of work. As was the cylinder, and it has gold cylinder bolts. The cylinder head was powder coated blue. The frame obviously is a full frame off restoration. Is the frame powder coated?
Absolutely. Went with an actual white pearl for the frame. So if you actually come and look close, you can see the pearl in the powder on there.
Awesome. All the hardware on the bike is brand new. And talking about the hardware, look at the washers on the underneath all the bolts. Where'd you get those, John? Those are awesome.
Wow, I think I found those on eBay actually.
They look badass.
It's actually like a Honda dress-up kit for like a Honda Civic. So.
Are you serious? It's badass. Again, even the hardware is polished on the bike. All the bolts are polished. The chain, that's a silver chain, which I fell in love with it. I've been putting gold chains on everything, so to see a silver chain, that looks like an O-ring. Is that an O-ring?
That is an O-ring. I decided to give it a try. It's a JT.
It looks badass. It looks really beefy. It looks thick, and I do like that about the O-ring.
It's a heavy-duty JT chain, so I figured, we'd give that one a try. I love the silver color, and then I think JT should come through.
All the chain adjuster hardware is brand new. All of the let me ask you a question. Is there anything on this bike that you didn't paint, polish, replace, customize, pimp out, or otherwise supercharge?
I think my hands have been on every single piece, restoring everything on the bike to bring back that original luster, if not make it even better. But yeah, I mean, we just try to polish everything.
Guys, we restore on average about, well, when I say restore, they're not. Some of them aren't full off frame restorations. We might do one or two, like my bike, a month. But to do a bike to this level, for us to do in the shop here, this is 150 plus hours labor. And that's probably conservative. Everything went well, and then the time to research it, just contacting all the vendors, ordering all the parts, and just unboxing them and sorting them, and all the trips to the 3 trips to the seat guy, to the powder coating guy, John's probably done dozens of phone calls and research and late night. He travels a lot when he's on the road away from his family, flying in the plane. I think this is probably your drug of choice, right?
Yeah, exactly. My downtime is I'm on my phone and reading up everything in final CR500s and trying to find the newest, the greatest, the most trick stuff out there and see what's new.
Moses, you want to sing us the national anthem with these 2 bikes here? God bless America, my home, sweet home. Awesome. Sounds like Moses in the background. Had to get him in. So, back to the bike, the sprocket. Look at the front sprocket. Kenny, zoom in on that because I definitely want one of those. I didn't know those were made. Every time someone goes to this level on the bike, I'm like a sponge, I'll see shit I like and I want to steal it for my next build. So that Pro Taper front sprocket in gold will look badass on a gold chain build. So we got to point that out. That's Pro Taper, you said?
That's definitely Pro Taper, yeah.
Pro Taper front sprocket. How many
I'm sorry, it's a Talon.
Talon. Okay, so what's your sprocket ratio? Is it 14 front?
I'm trying to remember offhand. I think I run a 1451 with that.
All right, so we covered, I think, most of the running gear. Suspension was rebuilt. The shock was polished. The spring was powder coated. The stock chain guide is been.
Right. Actually, it's a 1990 swing arm. So
1990 swing arm.
1990 swing arm and chain guide on here.
So the motor. Let's talk about the motor.
All right, motor. We tore it all down. We vapor blasted the cases, cleaned everything. All new transmission bearing, original Honda crank bearings. The crankshaft in that was sent out to Tom Morgan. Tom Morgan put a new Wisner rod on there and balanced everything out. And the top end we bored out to a 91 millimeter. The head has been cut slightly to increase compression a little bit on that. So she's now, I believe it's a 512cc motor.
512cc, Tom Morgan Racing, balanced crank with a Wisner rod. Swing! If that doesn't get your blood pressure going, you might be dead. This is probably the best. Now, this wasn't at the 500 shootout. It was at the 500 shootout where we were doing the engine shootout. Is the 86 still here? So I'd like to. The 86 won the shootout. That had a 512 balanced crank. But it had another guy did the porting. Tom Morgan's considered one of the premier. Yeah. I forgot, I left him out of the mix.
Right.
He's one of, there's Tom Morgan, Eric Gore, and Adam Millar, pretty much the holy trio of.
Right. When it comes to CR500 knowledge.
So back to the motor. Stock crank that was balanced.
Stock
rebuilt, which is what they say is the best.
Right.
Besides the Adam, the AJ Wagoner billet crank, which is like a Honda HRC crank. We're putting one of those in ours, but they're expensive. They're like $700 just for the crank. So the crank was rebuilt, new bearings, new seals, bead blasted cases, hand polished cases. Now, I don't know what you got for time in the polishing. We spent 30 hours on Kenny's bike and we didn't even polish the cases. So I know you don't track your time, and you maybe, I don't know.
The cases and the cylinder together, I probably maybe 2-3 hours total. Didn't put a whole lot of work into it.
I don't know how. I mean, it looks almost as good as the one on Kenny's bike, right. and Billy said he had 30 hours.
Yeah. I mean, in the first 3 hours it's great, but after that it's just it's really hard to see that much more improvement. I mean,
what did you use to polish it?
Just using mothers.
Mothers. Yeah, by hand or
a lot of mothers.
Yeah.
And
what grit sandpaper did you use?
I believe when I went to like 1200 grit.
So what would you start with?
I started with a 400 and worked my way up to 12. Just some good soapy dishwater and a lot of hand.
Now, so balanced crank, Tom Morgan porting. Whose intake is that?
Intake is a V-Force intake.
V-Force intake?
Yep, V-Force intake, and then behind that we have the 38 millimeter Air Striker original.
38 millimeter Air Striker with a V-Force intake. Tom Morgan Racing squish band on the head was cut for higher compression. What about your exhaust port? That's Jason Myers from MSV, right?
Oh, absolutely. Using Jason Myers' custom exhaust port up front there. Bike this nice, you don't want that black spooge getting everywhere.
Hell no, that'd be a crime.
Nobody does it better than the MSV for exhaust.
The MRE anodized covers, those are like 190 each or something. Those are pure motor porn. He's got them on both sides. What about your ignition?
We're still running just a stock Honda ignition on this one. She's more of a show bike than she is for going out and racing.
Well, I don't know about that. You got a 512cc 91 millimeter Tom Morgan Racing ported. The only thing you didn't do is put the MSV ignition on it.
Right. I mean, I was going for reliability, not horsepower.
What do you got for a clutch in it?
Clutch is still stock, brand new Honda stock clutch. Brand new clutch basket was OEM clutch basket we got.
You must have how many months tied up in the build?
I think it took about 8 months altogether of spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars every week.
So, let's look at the frame rails. Can you lean it over for me from the other side so Junior can take a look at it? I want to come around. All right, we can do this side.
Too bad.
The frame is in outstanding condition, completely rebuilt, sandblasted. A little bit of reinforcement put right here in a new aluminum glide plate. So great foundation you started with. You can see the engine case, the bottom of the engine case is, I would eat my morning breakfast off that for sure. I've eaten off dirtier surfaces than that. I've dropped my fork on worse places in the shop. So just a beautiful piece. Polished aluminum radiators, blue hoses, all new clear fuel lines. It just goes on and on. New. What air filters you put in it?
We're running a twin air filter right now.
Adjustable clutch. Very cool piece. So I asked John, I said, what are you going to do with it? It's almost too nice to ride. And he goes, well, he's building another one. What is the other one you're building now?
Right now I'm building another 1988 CR500 89 with a set of 89 forks on it.
What's the one you have in the museum?
In the museum we got an original 1988 with the...
That one's a beautiful piece too. We should do a story on that one too. But guys, that's about it. I guess the last thing we could do is fire it up. I don't know if I should start this in my sneakers though, because we have 2 injured employees this week. Okay, yeah. All right. So in any event, just a beautiful piece. John, I asked him what he was going to do with it, and he goes, "Well, I might." He said I might sell it. So if you're interested in buying this bike, it could be bought. It's not going to be cheap. It's going to be one of the most expensive steel frame 500s ever sold. I think that isn't brand new. I saw a new one sold in Australia for $30,000, and on the Australia CR500 website, they're normally selling. We just sold a bone stock 86 for $10,500. So John's got a buy it now price of $20,000 on the bike. Sounds like a lot of money to you, take into consideration 200 hours labor and $10,000 in parts and components plus the $700 he paid for it. So if you're interested in buying the bike, I am not selling it. It's not really for sale, okay? But if you wanted to buy it, don't even call them with a low ball offer, okay? But want to give them your cell phone number?
Sure. If you want to get in touch with me, you can contact me at 860-221-8356.
860-221
8356.
8356, and you'll have yourself. Now, the heart is the frame and the motor in a Tom Morgan Racing Wasner crank Wiseco piston 91 millimeter 512cc CR500 polished motor. The motor alone on this bike is probably worth $7-8 grand because a stock junk CR500 motor they're selling for $2 grand. So you start there and work up, and it's a lot of time and effort. So there's nothing in this for me. He's a good friend of mine. I guess if you wanted to call him and make him an offer, he'd consider it. But and again, it's not really for sale. It's going in his collection. But hey, thanks for sharing this with us today. Check out this Discovery logo right here. We looking forward to hearing about when our first episode will go out. They announced on Diesel Brothers about a month ago, so pretty cool. John, thanks for sharing your passion and your love for motorcycles, family, country, and God with all of us. My Kaplan America CR500 right here is a whole nother story. This could be a whole nother 30-minute video, but it's built with the same frame of mind. I guess I want to summarize by saying, hey, we're regular Americans, John and I. We're regular blue-collar guys working for a living with our families. We love God and our country, and it's a shame to see what's happening to our country right now with all the looting and rioting and division. Man, I wish Ronnie and Squirrel were here with us, and Moses. There's no oppression here. There's no discrimination. We all love each other the same here in Rockville, and even in our town council, the Democrats and Republicans get along. And our mayor, Dan, he's a Republican, but he works with the Democrats. I hate to see the Democrats and Republicans tearing each other apart and our country getting shut down and all the insanity that you see going on out there, burning down our own cities. It definitely pains me to see it. So we just stay focused on what we do, which is everything I said already. But I'd like to see the country come together and, I have a little sticker on the back here of mine that says "Making Rockville Great Again." It's kind of, they're saying, Trump says "Make America Great Again." This isn't a Trump endorsement or a Republican endorsement. This is my frame of mind, making Rockville great again. I think if a new party could be started, I'd call it the Patriot Party, and that's doing what's right for this country, for your family, starting right in your little city or town, wherever you live, and stop tearing each other apart, man. And there is no discrimination in Rockville. We're all one family, and we all work our butts off and do great things. So, and we help our neighbors, and we cleaned up. When we got here, I've been here my whole life, but when I bought this property 10 years ago, this was an absolute disaster. It was ground zero, the center of decay of the city. It was full of junk cars, hundreds of dumpsters of garbage. It was basically the town dump, and the building was falling down, and there were homeless families living here, and it was full of raccoons and pigeons, and it was an absolute dumpster. So we busted our ass and we cleaned it up, and we made Rockville proud again. We're making Rockville great again. Do that in your city. You can make a difference, you know. Pick up the garbage. When you're walking down the street, don't walk past the nip bottles, because one nip bottle invites another. You see cigarettes on the butts on the ground, put gloves on and pick them up, man. Pick up the trash in your neighborhood. That's where it starts. Fix the broken windows. Tow the abandoned cars out. Make it better. That trailer got abandoned here. This lot used to be the lot that everybody would drop off their abandoned cars. So at least once a month, I have to tow out a junk that someone drops there, and we tow them out and bring them to Mill Street Auto and pound them, and then they junk them. So it's a vigilance thing. It's kind of like taking care of your body. You know, take care of your city, take care of your neighborhood. So enough rambling out of me. Thanks for watching. I'll summarize the way I do every video. God bless America. Love all of you. Have a great day.